I personally feel, and just judging from what we saw for the CS nominees, yes, we had very good, competent people sit in certain positions, but then we also saw rewardism. Like, he just rewarded some people who we felt like, you know, there are so many other competent people who could play in this role.
You say that you are, of course, as a communication person, or the spokesperson, you're also an advisor to Honorable Justin Muturi, right? And imagine if you are incompetent. So you go and tell him, Azimio are doing this, let's attack them. So every time he goes out, he says attack mode, but you're not able to think strategically. Would you be adding value to him or taking away from him? In spite of him, let's say, being a great leader, he relies on the advice of the people around him. So the two are important.
Yes.
And that's, I think, the point here. Yeah.
But my thoughts are these. You see, right now we are saying William Ruto doesn't have, or some of his advisors are not competent enough. We are saying that without considering that.
I don't think that's what Diana said. Diana said that some of the people that were proposed, according to her, some of the people that were proposed for certain positions have questionable character. And we will now segue into the corruption issue. So as you're answering, begin to address the issue that we were already discussing earlier, which was on corruption.
Yes. You see, having a questionable character does not mean that you cannot perform.
Well, yes. Anna.
Yes, that is a fact. That doesn't mean.
But is that the kind of country we want?
No, that is not the country we want. And the president has been very categorical. He has said this. Things have happened in the past, but in my government, no such thing is going to happen. And I can call on Kenyans to make him accountable to that particular statement that he made, by just observing the way he's going to run his government.
But my question on that is, if we can't hold him accountable to 50% CS women, youth, and then putting people there, because we know corruption, like we mentioned, 2 billion a day is lost. These are huge funds. If he wants to get 300 billion back, why can't we get the 730 billion being lost, 2 billion being lost?
I think that was attributed to the previous regime. What Newton...
No, but the cartels are still there. My question to Newton is, when I said wow, is because he said, questionable character doesn't mean you can't perform. Actually, that has shocked me, because I feel like that's why we have chapter 6. Questionable character should be the main reason why you're either appointed or not. Because if you have questionable character, then what was happening with the Wezo Fund, all the corruption we're talking about, then will go on.
And just to paint the picture for Hannah.
Let me just respond. I'll take you back to the biblical scriptures.
And let me know if you need some water.
I'll definitely take you back to the biblical scriptures. God uses the under.
Qualified. Am I the under?
Yes. It is biblical. It is biblical.
Let me just listen. First of all, let's not misquote the Bible.
No, yes. It is a fact.
No. I fully agree with you. I'm Christian.
It is a fact.
Not a scriptural
it is a fact. I don't want to quote a verse here and then I be told this way.
It is not scriptural.
It is scriptural because
it uses the foolish things of this world to shame the wise.
Exactly.
But that's a very different context.
No, it is not. It has some thoughts around everything that happens on this world.
Explain what you mean, because that's
what I mean is this. What I mean is this.
I mean questionable.
You see, in the eyes of many, and even including his presidency, William Ruto, in the eyes of many, people have been made to believe that William Ruto is this bad human being, this bad leader, this person who doesn't care about others. That is what the image that people have.
But
exactly.
You've sat here with us, Newton, and we've agreed with you that he's actually a smart man.
But you see,
he's building his point, so let's wait for him to finish.
A lot of people have that perception of him. And if you have a sit down with the president, he will tell you, the things that have been said about me, they are not true. But because they are not true, and my words against their word, I need just to be actionable on the things that I do. And that is why...
Wait,
that is
what
why,
you're saying, Newton, two things I'm hearing from you, is that... what is it called? That the judgment of a person can actually be subjective, especially in the political context.
Exactly.
Depending on what the person communicating wants to achieve.
Yes.
Stella, let me ask you this question.
The essence of politics is that you need to paint your opponent as
a bad person, this evil person.
Yes, but let's also...
he's saying that's a possibility.
I agree, that's a possibility.
Let
but
me finish.
Just remember...
Finish. But then he's saying that His Excellency, the President, is actually aware that there was a lot of effort put towards that image being painted of him. And because instead of trying to go and defend himself,
he wants to
prove it by action.
And then if the actions already are not showing that, and I'm saying we are sitting here agreeing with him that this man is sharp. He has his leadership qualities. We are agreeing with you. We come here and said what you've said.
No, you're saying the thing is this. She mentioned about questionable characters being around him. Yeah. You got me?
As well as
that is what I'm saying is this. The president, in his own wisdom, he knows what Newton Hamasi can do. He knows what my sister here can do. You got me? In Rwanda, a lot of Kenyans are envying Rwanda. True or false? No. Let us be honest.
Okay, yes.
A lot of people are envying Rwanda. Are you getting me?
What I'm trying to say here is that, of course, like in political or in campaign period, in any competition, competitors are always trying to shame the other or say this person has done this person has done this. But since you brought the scripture here, there's one thing that is said in the scripture is that you will see them, you will know them by their fruits. And in any whatever, apart from the deputy president position, which I don't think I really investigated during William Ruto's tenure, any other seat that he sat on, there were stories of corruption. We saw it even live on TV when there was tear gassing of the kids that during the Weston and the Langata primary thing. So some of the things, I won't say that all of the things that are said about William Ruto that are bad are true, but there's some of the things in his character have shown that, okay, this is a bit questionable. Now, I understand in the point of, I'm also someone of second chances. Maybe because of through whatever journey he's been through, perhaps President William Ruto now has a heart of service, right? And is passionate about changing this country. That one, I will give him space to be able to see that. Currently, in the last 40 days, which is kidogo if you think about the 5 years of his presidency, that confidence hasn't been inspired, right? But because he's a president, not just because I didn't vote for him, he's now my president, I will be able to give him that leeway. But my question here is that, or rather, my point here is that character is important in leadership and in anything, because you see, the thing is, as me as a business owner or someone as a youth, even if I get an accountant who's the most brilliant, if he decides to be a kleptomaniac, right, I lose. And that's what people are not connecting. Youth are not connecting in terms of corruption and characters that are not incongruent with our national values. It is us, the youth, that are the worst affected by these issues of corruption, of impunity.
So can we say that the message here is that, to the president and to his team, is that young people want to actually know that he will address the issue of corruption, right? Now, speaking for Newton, do you think that he's started doing that by making the IG independent, or rather, being an accountant holder, or being an independent body in terms of accountability, financial accountability, that is, in the sense of empowering the judiciary so that they can be able to address corruption cases or other cases? Because, like, if the issue, for example, now what they normally say is that these bodies have been hamstringed and used for political reasons. Perhaps part of the goodwill, or the thing that he has done immediately, is to release them to be able to be independent. Do you think we'll see a change now that he's done that?